Hi, seventh graders, and welcome to lesson 10.2b, the area of a circle. In today's lesson, we're going to learn how to use the area of circles to solve problems. Let's get started. First of all, what is area? What does that mean? Well, area means the number of square units inside of a circle. So you can see the picture of the circle that I have here, and you can see the square units inside of the circle. They could be square inches, square centimeters, square feet, any of those, but it's how many square inches fill up the inside of a two-dimensional circle. And you can also see around the edges there that a lot of these squares are not complete squares. So we're not always going to get an exact answer. All right, what is the area formula to find the area of a circle? Well, to find the area of a circle, you take pi times radius squared. So go ahead and write down this formula right here in your notes. Now remember that fancy number, that special number we're going to be using for pi is approximately 3.14. And we can see that it's multiplied by the radius squared. So when we're doing our work today, we're going to be writing area equals approximately 3.14, and we're going to multiply it by the radius squared. Radius, so times radius squared. Okay, now A in the formula represents area, and the R in the formula represents radius. Okay, so now that we have all of those parts, I think we can begin our work. Oh, and one more thing. Remember, because this is square units, we're going to be labeling our answers units squared. So inches squared, centimeters squared, feet squared. This is how many squares fill up the interior of a circle. Okay, now let's give this a try. Okay, we have a circular swimming pool. Yes, summertime, swimming pool. How can we find the area of this swimming pool? Well, what formula is going to help us with that? The area formula. So I'm going to be writing area formula as 3.14 times the radius squared, which is the same thing that you see here. Okay, so let's first begin by starting out and writing the area formula. That's our starting here. Area equals 3.14 times the radius squared. Well, you're going to need our calculator for this. Okay, so let's write down what we know. Let's fill in what we know. Looking at the pool here, we can see that we are given the radius of the pool. It's 17 feet across halfway through that pool. That's the radius. So we're going to replace the radius, the R in the formula, with 17. Okay, let's write everything out. We have area equals 3.14 times, and in place of the radius right here, in place of the R, we're going to write the number 17, and then don't forget that we want to square this to the second power, 17 squared. Okay, now time for the calculator. We're going to type this into the calculator. We want 3.14 times 17 squared. So really this is 3.14 times 17 times 17, because that's 17 squared. And my calculator says that we get 907.46. That is the area of the pool. And the units that we're using are feet. So remember, this is feet squared. Okay, here is our area of the pool. Now remember that area is how many square units. So if we were to break up this pool in here, I know my drawing isn't to scale, but if we broke up the pool into little squares that were each 1 foot by 1 foot, that is how many, 907.46. That's how many little square feet would cover that pool. Pretty cool. Pretty big pool. I like it. Think about that pool. That's got a 34-foot diameter going all the way across. That's pretty big. I'd like to swim in that one. All right, let's try number 2. Pizza. Hope you're not too hungry. Let's see what we're asked to do here. Find the area of both the medium and the large pizzas. And then we're going to be asked a question at the very end here. How much more pizza do you get by ordering the large? Well, when you order a medium pizza, it's a 12-inch pizza. And what that means is that it has a diameter across the middle of 12 inches. A large pizza, those are always 14-inch diameters. All right, we're going to find the area of both of the pizzas. So remember our area formula over here, pi times radius squared. Well, we need to know the radius for finding area. And we're not given the radius. We're only given the diameter. So we need to figure out what's halfway across the pizza. Halfway. So if all the way across if the diameter is 12, and then the radius would be half of that. The radius would be 6 inches, right? And then here, halfway across the pizza, the radius would be 7 inches. So we're going to need the radius for finding the area because that's part of the formula. So we found the radius first. Now we're ready to do this. Okay, so let's find the medium here. We got area equals 3.14 times the radius squared, and the radius is 6, so 6 squared. So we're going to type this into the calculator, figure out how many square inches are in this pizza. Okay, made a mistake on the calculator. Clear. 3.14 times 6 squared, and I get 113.04. That's the area, and that's inches square. So if I cut the pizza into teeny tiny little square inches, inch by an inch, right? That's how many square inches would be in the medium pizza. Well, the large is much bigger, isn't it? Large is bigger. So let's figure out the large here. So let's write down our work, our formula. Area equals 3.14 times radius, remember radius, 7 squared. Okay. A little bit bigger here, 3.14 times 7 squared. I get 153.86. And that's inches square. Square little square inches right in there. Wow, if you cut the pizza into little square inch pieces, you get a lot of pieces, wouldn't you? But they would be tiny. All right, we are ready to answer the last question here. Well, how much more pizza do you get by ordering a large? What would you do to figure out how much more? You got it. You would want to subtract, wouldn't you? So let's take the bigger number, the area, which is 153.86, and we're going to subtract the smaller number, which is 113.04, and we would get 40.82 inches square. That's how much bigger the large is. So definitely get more pizza if you order the large pizza. Oh, looking pretty good, those pizzas. All right, finding area, given the diameter. We just had to find the radius to do that, didn't we? Okay, we are ready for number 3. Barbara wants a small rug for her bedroom. Notice the rug is a circular shape. If the area of the rug has to be less than 50 square feet to fit in her space, what is the greatest diameter that the rug could be? Okay, being that they're talking about area, we need to use our area formula. So I'm going to begin this problem by writing down the area formula. 3.14 times radius squared. We want the area, this right here, has to be less than 50 square feet. Okay, because that's going to fit in her space. So what's the greatest diameter? We want to figure out the greatest diameter of these choices right here would give us an area that's less than 50 square feet. So we're going to have to figure out what diameter is going to work here. Now remember, these are all diameters. And the formula says radius. So we need to be mindful of that. So let's give one of these a try. Let's try the first one. Let's try 6 feet. Now remember, 6 feet is a diameter. So the radius would be half. The radius would be 3. So let's go into the formula and let's just try plugging in 3 for radius and see what kind of area that we get. I'm going to switch colors so that you can follow my work here. So we're going to try the radius of 3. So area equals 3.14 times 3 squared. Let's type that in the calculator, 3.14 times 3 squared. That gives us an area of 28.26. Now this is just a starting point for us. Now remember, we want the area to be less than 50 square feet, less than. This is definitely going to be less than, but we want the greatest diameter that we could have. And it looks like Barbara could have a much bigger rug than the 6-foot rug. So let's try a different one. Let's see. Let's go a little bit bigger than that here. Maybe we want to try, let's try 8 feet. That would be a radius of 4. Let's see what happens when we plug a radius of 4 in. So let's go with 3.14 times 4 squared. Let's see what happens there. 3.14 times 4 squared. Oh, that gives me 50.24 for the area. Wow, okay, but we wanted less than 50. So this is a little bit too big. So what are we going to have? Now 6 was too small and 8 is too big. So I think that we're going to have to go with a 7-foot diameter rug. Let's give it a try and see what happens when we pick 7. Okay, so picking 7 feet, that means if it's a 7-foot diameter all the way across, that the radius would be half of that. The radius would be 3.5. So we're going to have to use 3.5 for the radius. Radius equals. All right, so let's go 3.14 times 3.5 squared. So this 3.5 needs to be squared. So I'm going to go 3.14 times 3.5 to the second power. And I get an area of 38.465. Now, I know you may be thinking, that's a little bit too small. She could go bigger. But remember, the 8-foot was too big, right? So we're going to have to go one size down, and we're going to have to choose B for our answer, because that's going to be less than 50 square feet. So we had a little bit of guessing and checking to do in order to figure out the rug for Barbara's room. All right, so we're going with answer B. On number 4, let's see what we're asked here. Find the area of the circle. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't say find the area. I got to read that over again. Get rid of that. The area of the circle below is 200.96 units squared. So that is the area. Area equals that. Okay, find the radius. This is what we want to find. We want to figure out the radius of the circle. Okay, whenever you're doing these types of problems, you want to first start by writing down the formula that's going to be helpful. And in this case, it's going to be the area formula. So let's write down area equals 3.14 times radius squared. Okay, so what do we know? We know the area. So let's start by writing down area. Area is 200.96. Okay, let's complete the rest of the formula. Equals 3.14 times radius squared. So we're asked to find the radius. We want to figure out what number right here could our radius be to give us an area that's equal to 200.96. What's the radius? Well, hey, guess what? We've got 4 choices. Could we just guess and check? Could we plug them each in and see which one gives us the right answer? Let's give it a try. I'm going to change the color for us. Let's go ahead and plug one in. So right here where it says radius, let's go ahead and try one. Let's start by trying 5 units. Let's see if the radius could be 5. So I'm going to plug in 5 right here. Now let's use our calculator, 3.14 times 5 squared. That gives me an area of 78.5. Is that what I'm looking for? No, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 200. So 5 does not work. I'm just going to cross off number A. We're not going with 5. Okay, so let's erase this, scratch that. We need something bigger. All right, let's try, what's bigger than 5? 8's bigger than 5. Let's go with 8. We don't have to try them in order. All right, so 3.14 times 8 squared. Oh my goodness, I get it. 200.96. That's it. So 8 is the radius I'm looking for. The radius right here of 8 units will get me the area that I'm looking for. So my answer is answer D, 8 units. So I'm just going to play around and guess and check with the formula. All right, that was kind of fun, working backwards. Okay, let's go ahead to the summary. What did we learn? Couple things. We learned what area was. Area is the number of square units inside the circle. We learned that we're going to label our areas with units squared. We also learned the formula for finding area of a circle, and that is pi times radius squared. In all of our examples, we use the number 3.14 to approximate pi. So we did 3.14 times the radius squared. And that's how we found the area of our circles. Thank you so much for finding area with me today. Have a great time practicing and a great day.